not going to do the prayer. Definitely going to need the prayer.
On how to best serve the city and its people. And thank you for all that are in attendance at this evening party. We ask you to bless each and every household. It's my favorite one, each and every household that's represented here. And we just need you in the name of Jesus. Amen. Amen. While Mr. Key is doing that, I first want to address what is public safety and what this committee. The entirety or the point of having a committee that works as an advisory, ultimately to the legislature, who are voting on resolutions and ordinances that affect your daily life. And so Mr. Key is the actual chairperson of the public safety committee, and I'm a member of part of the public safety committee. We did, I want you to know, extend an invitation to both the fire chief as well as the interim chief. We don't have an actual chief, we have interim chief, as I know we have not voted on that. But interim chief did vote to extend the invitation. Hopefully maybe some result of them will show. But if not, tonight really serves as an open dialogue and conversation around public safety. We're aware that there was a mass shooting last week that traveled from the 6th ward over to the 4th ward, and then there was an outside incident with a young man who was unfortunately taken due to gun violence as well in South Holland. And so today we really want to have a very open, and when I say open, please speak with full fidelity on how you feel regarding the status of the public safety. As I noted, and I don't have a confirmation on this, but we've lost 15 auxiliary officers. What are our auxiliary officers? If I could say it in the plainest terms, those are the individuals who do not carry them. However, they have the same duty of service and protection across our city and have been supportive in a variety of capacities. The presence of a police officer sets a tone. It just sets a tone for decorum, it sets a tone for safety, and so us not having that particular link, my question, and this would have been a question derived to our interim chief, what in ourselves in the best and most positive way, or what are things to do to prohibit gun violence in our community? As I said, gun violence is rampant. It's like a disease, right? It's not specific to Harvey. It's across the entire Southland. We're having issues with gun violence. Nevertheless, there is something that we can do here as a community. One of the things I saw recently that was sent out on behalf of the mayor's office was the corralling of getting precinct captains and block captains. And those are very essential measures to public safety. But I'd like to ask, I think just Harvey as a whole, and I can't necessarily speak for everyone on your block, but every other house is just about dilapidated, right? The home that I stay next door to, not one but two dead bodies have been found in that home. We boarded the back of that home at least 5 times, and it still sits open to today. We're on the main thoroughfare of 165th Street. So in instances like that, and perhaps Mayor, you can best advise that you're present, as well as Member Smith, since you're present, or Alderman Smith, but perhaps give us some, even greater, our interim chief is here, to provide some context around what specifically he could do to eradicate the violence. We're seeing the demographic of young people between the ages of 15 upwards to 34 who are ensued in violence, in gun behavior. So what can we do as a community, and this is a very open and candid conversation as I mentioned, what can we do to rid the violence in our community? Is it awareness? Is it knocking on the door of your neighbor? Is it marches? Is it more just community gatherings like back to school events and things of that sort, right? What is it that us as a community, right? I think he spoke about, Mr. Biddy spoke about a collaborative approach. So strategically thinking about what collaborative efforts look like, strategically thinking about what public safety looks like. Because public safety on Broadway to Lexington looks different. Can we all agree with that? And I'm only speaking regarding second ward. But if we could take maybe 10 minutes with your neighbor and determine or figure out or even announce the issues on your own block and things that you've personally done to see to it that violence is decreasing, and or what programs or initiatives. It's a very broad spectrum when we think about public safety anyway. But just pinpointing something you can do on your block. Is it boarding up dilapidated homes? What is the cure overall to violence in our city?
I see. I don't know what the cure is. I don't know what the cure is, but I know that the home that I stay next to is abandoned, and over the last 20 years, I have spoken to administration, everybody pretty much that's in this room, and lately for the last couple of weeks, I had it on video and everything else. People jumping where we have boarded it up, they kicked it down, and now they dumping it in the back of the house at 15321 Ashland, and one young man is coming over the fence where.
I'm sorry, we don't have a moment for all the questions.
Okay.
What we're going to do, we're going to break it down. Mostly this is generated $1,000 revenues. We want everything you say.
Okay.
And what we're going to try to do, we're going to try to show the navigation system to go out and all the money and everything. And then we'll be able to sit through the whole situation and we all pull together and get our cities back.
To see what we can do together.
We got, a lot of this violence and everything. I hate to just own the violence. We got the squatters, we got the illegal dumping, just a lot of things, public safety, the potholes and everything. We have a whole wide range of things that fall upon the public safety. So with that being said, when we start on one subject, whatever it is, if you bring up squatters, let's just all talk about issues with squatters. And after that, we can move on to vacant properties and keep that subject, that way you won't be all over the place. You know, and everybody, because this is for you guys. Well, I can't say something like when it comes to the squatting issue, because that's really messed with the city. But my understanding right here is that Illinois has enacted a new law, Senate Bill 1563, that streamlines the process for removing squatters from property. The law, which will take effect January 1st, 2026, allows law enforcement to remove squatters once a property proves their ownership, eliminating the need of the eviction process. So if anybody know about squatters, how long will it take for you? They have more rights than we. They live better than we. You know? Go ahead. Key changes, faster removal. Okay? Law enforcement can now remove squatters as soon as the property owner provides proof of ownership. Criminal trespass. Squatters are now treated as criminal trespass, allowing police to intervene more quickly. Elimination of legal standing. The new law effectively eliminates the legal standing of squatters in Illinois, meaning that they cannot claim legal rights to the property. This is a big thing. This is a big thing right here for Harvey to clean up all our vacant properties. I would suggest that we put signs on these vacant properties or possible squatters, to put signs on up effective January 1st. That's it. So we can enforce this, and maybe, I don't know, maybe the police or the mayor can explain, and so many months or maybe a quarter, we can eliminate the whole process of the squatters. So you could be able to call in, because you call in for a squatter now, they can't do anything but put 9 hours. If they go to court, just say if they arrest somebody, they go to court. They take them to court, they go to court. If the owner don't show up, nobody can press charges. So they're free to go. Then they go from one house to another house and keep squatting around. But at least this is going to give us more control. I had a mayor on my block. It took almost a year, and it took financial money for her to spend just to get these people out of these houses. Now, if we try to do any type of work, demolitions, any type of cleaning, we can't do that if it's a squatter in the house. And squatters have head rights. So whoever came up with this law, I think this is the sign, but I really appreciate this. If you want to look on up, all you gotta do is look on New Illinois squatter law rights. And it'll show it, and this is gonna be effective in January. But we need to get the process moving now to let people know that it's time for this to stop. And that'll be a big opportunity, you know, with all the squatting issues, the vacant property stuff and everything, to improve on it. So I'm gonna need y'all here. And when it comes to the gun violence, everything that's going on, that's why I'm wearing this shirt right here. I can speak truthfully, you know, I'm a resident from Harvey. So a lot of these people that's out here, these young guys that are doing these things, we know a lot of these people. These are people that are grandchildren, kids, and then there's a lot of people that come from other areas and stuff. But people need to feel comfortable when they talk. When they talk about something, they go to police, can they be protected? If they said this, when they turn over this film footage, can they be protected? That's what we need our police officers, you know, be able to show that you are secure, being able to give information. Me personally, I would like to suggest that if I had a complaint or something, I'm worried about something, I can call one line, and then they call the line and don't tell them who I am at all. Because who's going to protect somebody that's speaking on up, you know? But like I said, once again, this is all of our people that we know, that we grew up around, that we helped raise, that help either contribute it or allowing other people to come in to our city. You know, I want to now ceasefire. I want y'all to get on up and speak in a minute. Who else we got here? All of them, we got anybody else? All right, so we're going to have some people that's going to represent to show just what we can do. And these are the main things. It's like, what would you like to see? How can you feel safe? You know, that's really important to be able to mention that. Or what reports, or how we're going to follow up on something. We're just squatting right now, but they ain't till January 1st. But I'd like to get this moving as soon as possible. Let's start putting these signs on now, effective January 1st. So, Doc, we're going to leave it open. Go ahead. This is for y'all. Go ahead.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. And this is a question too, since I see Bennett up here. I got a question. If there's a sign that says no trespassing on an abandoned property, and you catch a squatter or a squatter, would they be considered a squatter or a trespasser? Couldn't they be removed because they're trespassing?
Well, actually, it's both. In the law, it's going to say both. They can be charged for numerous different charges. I'll just let you finish elaborate on this effective law. I'm aware of.
All right. First one is, I'll answer that question.
One more, you gotta be recognized. This is
Well,
not
you
me,
don't
man.
want, you don't want this. You don't want this. And I'm an ad hoc member.
And then you're taking over my meeting.
I'm an ad hoc member. Would you like for me to tell you the information that you want to know?
That's not fair. You can just
Would you like for me to
on
tell
my
you the
committee.
information that you want to know?
Okay, go ahead, sir. You've been recognized.
Thank you. First of all, the mayor is an ad hoc member of all committees. That's number one. Number two is, I was trying to let you know, and I was waiting for a gap, because your agenda actually did say 6 to 8. So I wanted to let you know that yes, you do have till 8 o'clock, as far as that's concerned. And I didn't see that, that's what it said. But once I got that correction, I wanted to let you know. Is that okay?
No, actually, it is not, because when we're in council meetings, I'm only allowed to say so much. So if the reason I'm committee chairman, then I need to at least choose my authority to just.
So you don't want to, you didn't want to know that?
Yeah, I want to know it, but the way you're saying it, you know, it's the first one to do it. Right.
Would you like me to answer, like the question answer as far as the squad is concerned?
Yes, I will. And I can still control my meeting.
You control the meeting?
Okay, then why are you still talking? And I'm not talking.
Because they asked a question and they said they wanted to answer.
Okay, well, the first question was asked to the chief. So
He he's not answering, I'm answering the question on his behalf. I'm still the CEO of the city.
Go ahead, sir. You can answer.
As far as the squatters' rights law, the squatters' law is concerned, it isn't as simple as one would make it out to the league. So I wanted to make sure that we got some clarity as far as that was concerned. If someone is alleged to have been squatting, the owner of the property still needs to come and claim the property. So residents can't just say that person is squatting or that other person is squatting. It's not that simple. The actual owner of the property has to proceed to request that the person be removed. And if you're not that owner, then you still have those problems as far as squatting is concerned. But I just wanted to make that clear, and it's not just, we can just individually as residents, like I got some people down the street from my house, and I can say they're squatting, and the police have it.
Even if it's boarded up?
Hold on, wait. We're gonna have time for all the questions. Now, the mayor has answered that question for, chief, which we would like to hear from the chief, but I guess he's the chief too. So, however that is, nevertheless, we did get some answers. We're just going on what this law is, and that's what we're here for, right? To ask questions and get answers. So we don't have to get into no discussion or make it hard to explain to our residents. If you want to continue to speak, we can, but now we can just open up and see, what we're gonna do next on this. We're gonna open up for the question. Okay, well, you know what, let's the squatters. Okay, so who has questions on about squatters? Maybe they could be directed to the mayor or the chief, and we can keep it like that, to stay on the subject of squatters. Then we're gonna move on to another part.
I have a question in regards to squatters. Say you got a house in your neighborhood, you know the people that are living there don't own the house. They're having parties, they're using drugs, they're over there fighting, all kind of crazy stuff is happening in the neighborhood. They're just become a crime factor, period. So how does the law pertain to something like that, where they're violating other laws besides violating the squatters law? How do you handle that? Chief?
I mean, it would be as simple as you call the police department, let them know that there's drug activity or something along the lines of that, whatever it is. If it's drug activity, noise, you reach out to them so they can have an officer come by, and they can speak with them and either issue citations and go background. It seems like you're actually, if it's squatters that's actually doing that, or if it's people just outside the residence.
No, squatters that are doing it specifically.
It would be you to call the police department, have them come over there, and again, like the mayor mentioned, it would have to be the owner of the property to actually get them evicted and go removed. But if it's something that happens and it's criminal, and the officers come there and they find out that it is in fact criminal, then they would take matters into their own hands as far as an arrest or something along those lines.
Now, is that the Illinois state statute?
I don't know the exact Illinois state statute.
Okay, so that's what we're trying to find out.
Well, yeah, we can probably look it up.
Yeah, we need to know what the Illinois state statute is. That's important, because if we don't have that information, then the picture's not clear exactly what you all are saying. You're just telling us something. You don't have the Illinois state statute. That's what we need.
But I think you can also go on the Illinois Combined Statutes website, you can look it up yourself, and then also bring it in yourself. I don't have it on the top of my head right now. I'm not able to just pull it up because I wasn't aware of this question. But if you can bring that to our attention, I'd be more than welcome to be able to sit down and have a conversation with you.
Yeah, because it's got to be a little bit more serious than that. If they're doing stuff they ain't got no business doing, and they don't own the property, they're not supposed to be there, then I'm sure that the state of Illinois addresses something like
But
that.
it still goes back to the actual owner of the
Because
property.
we had a situation where on my block, we had people like that.
Missouri, broke it down. And so these are the reasons, and all I'm asking, since the mayor is here, and chief is here, and all the one, if I have been, head of the public safety committee, if these people ask these questions to me, and they submit them to me, then I submit them to you guys, and you guys respond back to me, and I can be able to filter them out, more quickly with people, since we're not allowed to speak to you unless, whatever it is. So I don't know if we want to get to all that. And we got, and I know somebody else has some more questions when it comes to squatting issues. Anybody have anything?
I don't think mine was, it wasn't answered.
Okay, so we can move on to the
No,
next.
I'm saying,
Hers wasn't answered.
yeah, what I'm saying
Oh,
wasn't
the
answered.
question wasn't answered.
Okay,
Shut up.
Okay, so, Vince, what I was trying to understand is this. So, would that be that the squatters have rights if they have broken the law? If they've broken the law, how would it be that they have the right? You understand what I mean? That's just like if I break the law, I'm going to jail. So wouldn't they, you know what I mean? If they, like, for example, like I said, if it says no trespassing, and they trespass, that's breaking the law. So would they be treated, would they still have the rights as a squatter? Or would they be treated, as a criminal?
Your determination is that they're breaking the law, but the courts will not make that decision. What the legislature has decided that once again, if the owner of the property can present information showing that they own the actual property and they want those people removed through our alleged squatters, trespass or no trespass, it doesn't matter, then the person will be removed. If there is not an owner who is saying that, remember the owner has the right to put the no trespass sign up there, and the owner has the right to be able to say whether that person can or cannot be on the property. So just because you see a trespass sign does not necessarily mean that the owner even put it up. So it varies on a case-by-case basis, but the key here is that the owner has to be present in order to get the squatter removed. Now, if the so-called squatter is engaging in some other illicit activities, I mean, if the squatter is sitting on the front porch with a crack pipe, smoking illegal drugs, then of course, the police officers have the authority under Illinois law to proceed to arrest that person.
Right.
But that's not because they're a squatter, that's because they were using
Right, that's what
drugs. Yeah, that's because they were using illicit drugs.
That was my question. Would they be treated as a squatter? Would they have rights as a squatter, or would they be treated as a criminal?
Well, they would be arrested because they were engaging in illegal activities as far as drug use.
Okay. Now, see, this is great. This is great. This is what we need. Answers, questions, everybody communicating. Because, even if it's a law, you still got to break it down. Now you got to worry about all the technicalities. That's what we need to know in advance. I was just saying, so this is not going to affect until January 1st. And we immediately start acting on this. So when January 1st comes, we got all these questions, all these answers in our procedure. And we're going to move in full force January 4th, getting the squatters up out of here.
With what Mayor Clark said, the owner has to be present, but Harvey currently has over 4,000 abandoned properties without owners. So does that mean it's a free-for-all? I can move into any house that's abandoned I want, and there's no rules, no laws, and it's just a Wild West? Because if the owner has to be present to trespass someone, but yet there's 4,000 abandoned, it means there's no owner. The Cook County website lists over 4,000 abandoned properties here in Harvey. So there's no owner to come and say, get off my lawn. So then as of January 1st, then what? Does that mean that we don't need an owner anymore because it's abandoned?
Great questions, too.
Good question. Good question.
If there's no owner, then what?
We're not encouraging. So once again, there's certain things that you may say that are actually adverse to our city. I wouldn't go around telling people that Harvey has over 4,000 abandoned homes and you can all come here. I wouldn't do that anyway. So,
That's true, though.
Well, then that's for them to find out, but I wouldn't advertise it. That's number one.
Wow, people already know.
Number two, as far as that's concerned, once again, that's a Cook County issue. Because Cook County is responsible for most of these properties being taxed delinquent and most of these properties being in the position that they're in. Because if the city of Harvey could acquire the properties in a timely fashion, then we could actually get those properties back onto the tax roll, which is where they need to go.
That's right, I'm 100% agree with the mayor, and this is what we're here for, to ask questions and get answers, instead of starting our own speculations on how things are supposed to be. Once again, we need to get this moving in for January 1st. I like to see it sometime in October, and say, hey, we're gonna get this squad against you done. It's gonna help us. Go ahead. And you know what, you brought up a good point. I don't know, like in the fourth ward, this is one of my fourth ward residents right here. But I have residents that have lived there since we was kids. And when they passed away, if they passed the property on to their grandkids or, the kids or siblings, nobody takes care of the home. I have a resident, I come down there and cut the grass. And just to keep it looking nice, because it's right on the corner. But they way down there in Florida, he said, well, I've seen the money for the grass. I'm like, well, you can. I get some work to get on out, help me on out, and we're trying to keep the areas looking nice. But nevertheless, they still just leaving the property right there in that situation. So as before I was an inspector, what we would do, we would simply, if we went by a property, and we saw a property, and the grass needs to be cut, weeds need to be cut, open windows, the house, whatever we would do, take a picture before, cut the grass, send out a ticket to the owner. If they don't respond, wait till that month when you're supposed to be able to answer to it, send out another ticket again, and keep taking care of the problem. Keep cutting down the weeds, keep helping out the maintenance and stuff. Once we do that and we build it up, I don't know what exactly the American said, whatever amount that is, once they get to a certain amount, we can take them to court and put a lien and take that property. Once we can take that property, then we can sell it to one person or people that's around the neighborhood. Me personally, if I'm a neighbor, if one of my neighbors is sitting right here, which I got plenty of them, and they got a vacant house on the side, and if they go out there and they cut the grass, they keep it on up and help keep to maintain it and make it look like it's looking livable. If they want to move their grandkids or their house get too big or something like that and their property is available, they should be the first ones to get it. If nobody else want to get it, then put it on out to the open market and sell it to somebody that will. But we have to take these before and after pictures so that we're doing work to this property and how it's using. And that way we can go to the state and we can be able to demand, hey, we need money to either demolish this house or just take over this house and give it to the city so we can work on getting the taxes, you know what I mean, and work with somebody that wants to buy it and invest in it and keep it going. Well, in Chicago Heights, I know we did. And so that we taking care of upkeep on the property, right? Well, that's what I'm saying. These are the questions that need to be directed right there. And then now, is everybody familiar with what a scavenger list is? Okay. Now, they still have, it comes out every so many, periods of 2 years, whatever. But what it is that if you purchase a property and you buy the taxes, they still have 2 years or even more to fix up the property. They can wait until the very last day. So if you're already in there and you start spending your money, starting to rebuild stuff and new stuff and everything, they can still come back and get their house, and you basically got to go to court and you probably lose your money because it's not technically yours. So that scavenger is a waiting process. Once again, we have the mayor here, and he can be allowed give the information that I need.
You're correct. At this particular point in time, the Cook County Board of Commissioners will have to call for a status of sale because of, from my understanding, because of some litigation that is currently taking place. They are not calling for a status of sale. Neither are they calling for no cash bid as well. So you say you went down and checked it out yourself. Yeah, they're not doing that at this particular point in time. That's why our hands are so tied on a lot of these issues. Because what would have been normal under any other circumstance, and it's just a matter, I guess, of timing. Under any other circumstance, what would have been normal is the city would have been able to, through the no cash bid process, and the scavenging process, start to acquire some of those properties. That doesn't exist. So because it doesn't exist, we're not allowed to take advantage of that program to be able to get those properties. The tax reactivation program is what you're talking about. And in the tax reactivation program, if there's a property that is owned by the city, because first it has to be already owned by the city, then you can go about the process of trying to become an owner of that property yourself. Especially if that property is, say, for instance, next door to your home, like many of us have had a vacant lot next door to our home that we've been taking care of for years. You know, that's a good way if it is owned by the city. If it is not owned by the city, then we run into more difficult problems. More difficult problems as far as trying to acquire.
Great answer. See, now we're moving in the direction that we need to ask the questions and get answers. This young lady right here,
As you know, public safety takes on a variety of different concerns. Come on up, Ms. Branch. Public safety looks like a wide array of things, not just specific to just gun violence. Public safety is also insurance, right? Ensuring that your home is insured. As you all see across the city of Harvey, we have a dozen plus, more than that are burned out. And I don't know to say if these privately owned businesses have insurance, commercial insurance, or not, but that's where insurance steps in, right? It's a lot of insurance fraud also going on, where people have left our community looking deserted because it's as easy to do in our communities. But you must prohibit that, and in doing such, if you're seeing something where it's not snitching, right? Because we're all dealing with not having equity. Your home values are down. And it's not because your house looks good on the block, but if the 3 doors over don't look good, then guess what? Your house doesn't either. So we have to all be very accountable. As a part of that, we brought Ms. Angela Branch, thank you, Ms. Clay, for bringing this branch out to give some just wisdom about insurance, why it's necessary to insure your home or business, and how that supports us here in the city of Harvey from a public safety standpoint.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
We'd like to say hi to the mayor and the chief of police and all. Thank you for having me here. My name is Angela Branch, and I work for Comparion Insurance, which is a Liberty Mutual company. But I've been in the industry for 23 years. I worked for State Farm the whole 23, so I know a little bit about insurance. And as the Alderwoman mentioned, it is a public safety not to have insurance. Because if your house is burned down to the ground, would you be able to rebuild that home on your own? Chances are slim to none. A lot of times, if you've seen, the rates have been going up for insurance, and sometimes we just don't know enough about insurance to know if we're properly insured, overinsured, underinsured. So that's why I'm gonna pass out my card. If you don't have insurance, I would love to talk to you, sit down and explain and educate you about insurance. If you have insurance, I'd like to look at, if you prefer, I can look at your debt page and see what you have. Because sometimes we have things on there we don't even know or don't even need. The deductibles are really high and you're not aware that I had one person come to me with a really low premium, but their deductible was $10,000 for their home. So imagine getting a claim and then realizing, wow, my deductible, I can't afford to get my house repaired. So the other thing we need to focus on is life insurance. So many times people do not take care of their life insurance. And I'm gonna give you one stat, in 2023, there were almost 500,000 GoFundMe accounts across the country. That's a lot of people not having insurance. Of course, if you start young, while the health is your kids or grandkids, get those policies now. They can be paid up in 20 years and not have to make another cent. Even at your age, whether you're a seasoned, you can get insurance. But take care of that, leave a legacy to someone if you're able to. So I'm going to pass out my cards. If you have any questions for me about insurance or explaining what the coverages mean or for your home, auto, life, and commercial, please give me a call. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Brandon.
We're gonna bounce around.
Are you taking questions? I can't. Okay. I have a question. So if, let's say, I've been seeing on the internet and things like that where insurance companies are now either not insuring people or not, canceling their insurance altogether for whatever reason. What do you think, that trend, where do you think that trend is going to go? Who are the people most vulnerable to those types of, actions from insurance companies?
Well, mainly what we're seeing when people are not getting renewed, if you've had a lot of claims. And that is a good question because sometimes we make claims for things that we can do on our own. So one takeaway is no insurance company will do this. If you call your insurance company and say, hey, I have a claim, your deductible says $2,500. The damage is $1,000. You've made a claim, they're not covering it, but now it's held against you as a claim just because you wanted them to come out. Opposed to having a contractor for free of charge, give you an estimate, see what the damage is, see if it's something that's covered, and then you can make a more sound decision if you should people make that claim. The other thing that the insurance companies are looking at is the age of your roof. So at Comparion, we have the roof. The age of your roof is very important now with carriers. So at Comparion, we have over 40 carriers who shop for you for home and auto. But the main question most of the carriers want to know is how old is your roof? Because if the roof is set over 30 years, they know the next windstorm, you're going to put in a claim. So they're either not going to insure you or the rates are going to be higher. So those are things to consider as well. But there's no one across the industry, no one set rule of why they're not insuring people. Like State Farm just had a rate increase August 15th, 27% on your home. So if you haven't seen that on the news, it's true. I mean, they just got approved by the state insurance department of Illinois for a 27% rate hike, the highest ever in Illinois. So if you have State Farm, give me a call.
Help.
Yes, right.
I got State Farm.
27% on their homeowners insurance, they just got approved by the Department of Insurance for that rate hike. If you are already in your term, you probably won't see it until the next renewal. But anyone moving forward from this point, August 15th, you're gonna see 27%.
You say you take life insurance?
Life insurance.
Okay, I have a universal life policy. I've had it since '93. And when I reach age 76, the premium is going to be flexible monthly. And I don't like that idea of a flexible premium. I'm thinking about dropping it and get a fixed premium insurance policy.
Well, I'll say one thing about universal life. You have to be very careful about universal life. It can be good, but you have to fund them properly. And if you don't fund them properly, it may not take you to your lifespan. And then you can't afford to keep it, and the policy will, in essence, dry up, and you will be done with that universal life. So whole life is for the life of the policy. Or we do have a product called universal life insurance that you decide what age you want that policy to go to.
Okay, I had New York life from my mother and father. They passed on, and I didn't have a problem with it. I had permanent life for both of them. And I'm thinking about picking up a permanent life policy with New York life.
And you can do that.
Because they have a fixed premium.
Right, and then we have fixed premiums too, but it is based on your age and health. So just know that once you're older, you're gonna pay. You're gonna pay for
Yeah.
those whole
I
life
think
policies.
right now, for $25,000 is $176.
And I was gonna say something around that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on, we sound like you. So thank you all.
There's some good information, and we realize that a lot of these vacant properties that we have are due to people, homeowners that are losing their lives and didn't have property insurance or anything, and left the house and nobody wants to take care of it, therefore it's sitting there, and it takes years to get it where the city can even try to do it. Meanwhile, people come in and squat, it just open the door for a lot of things. So always just remember this, every vacant property you see is not owned by the city. You know, if we can get a better percentage of that, you will see it's probably less than half, but the majority of them are, you know, just like, I don't know what you call it, they're strange, whatever, you know, these houses that basically just sitting here. A lot of these houses and a lot of these properties. So when you sit at home with your family discussing these issues about if anything happened to me, what's going to happen to this property, who's going to get this property, who's going to take care of it. But that's either here or there. But nevertheless, when it comes to reporting concerns, what I want everybody to see, anybody can just grab their cell phone because we have a navigation system now, which is good because you can never argue with paperwork. You don't want to be able to call and say, well, I talked to this person about this issue that nobody did anything. Who did you talk to? Well, I didn't get their name, or nobody ever responded, or responding through this navigation system is going to print you out a reference, and it's going to show when you put in a complaint and what you're complaining about for. And then once you get that issue, if you're not received, I don't know if it's 3 to 5 days, then you can either contact the city hall, or you can either contact your auditor, and your auditor can say, hey, well, one of my residents put in this complaint a week ago and nobody has ever responded. Then that way we could be able to help everybody do this. But y'all know this, if anybody can pull up their phone, just for an example, you know, www.cityharvey.il.gov, and anybody just pull that on up.
That's what everybody, I've been going around individually. The city of Harvey,
You pull it on up, and when you get to the main page, you click up on the top. Pull it on up and put it on the top. Because we can talk about it and just say, I want to. And then it's going to be a drop-down box, and it's going to give a variety of things on the phone. And if you want to report a concern. Now, also, you can go down to the departments. You know, speaking in reference to the fire department, you can go down to departments and type up fire department. Now, if you don't have a smoke detector in your home, you can sign on up through there online, and it'll be free for them to come and put a smoke detector in your home. You just sign up and go through the thing, go to the fire department, go to the website, or you can call the fire department directly and get your smoke detectors, you know, replaced. Fire extinguishers. Fire extinguishers have to be checked. Commercial business, they have to be checked regularly and tagged. If you go in a place and you see an old tag, report that. You know, because that's a hazard right there. You don't see that tag, you don't see up there. But when you're in your home, you don't have to. If you have a regular fire extinguisher in your home, if you still see it and it's still in the green, even if it's been a year or two, it's still good. If it's not in the green, it means it's not going to work. I don't know if y'all knew that or not. And we also offer an opportunity for CPR classes for seniors and regular people. It's always good to know CPR. You know, if y'all want to invest in that, you know, or look into that. So you look on the website, you can go there and see that will come and report a concern, whether it's anything to do with trees, grass, anything, police department complaints, for the information, all this stuff, you find everything to the website. And just let your local auditor know that, hey, well, I requested this, I haven't received it, and then we can come on out and try to help y'all out a little better. You just try to enforce and say, hey, I got this person that I received the information, you know, back, and then you don't have to worry about nobody ever calling. When you call somebody, you can be talking to anybody. If you don't get their name, the date, the time you call, anybody can say anything. I know y'all need to run around, but you can't argue with paperwork. Okay? So So, yes, sir.
Could you repeat the question? We could not hear. What was the question?
Now you gotta answer to, directed to,
And here.
I said, what about this?
there you go.
I heard you, someone else wanted to hear you in the audience.
Yeah. It's hard to hear with the fans going back here. Sorry.
Somebody talking, y'all up back here talking. And you got in your hand. I don't say nothing.
Go ahead, go ahead.
You want me to answer?
Said if the city,
I got your question. Yes, sir, sure did. So, first of all, as far as the properties that the city owns, those properties are on the city, are online. You can go to the city website and you can see a list of all the properties that are city owned. The city fortunately is not in the real estate business, so we don't go about the business of trying to redo the homes and sell the homes, things of that nature. And even if we did, at this particular point in time, since this administration took office, we didn't have the funds to do that anyway. That's why I keep talking about the $164 million worth of debt that we took on, because it doesn't allow us to do all of those additional things. But we do make those homes available to developers and investors, and we have several investors and developers who have taken advantage of fixing up some of those properties. I think one of the things that gets lost is that when say things like a property is being rehabbed or even a property is being demolished, because we have so many of them, sometimes it's like trying to find a dewdrop in the middle of the ocean. You never recognize that it's actually being done when it is, because we have, like I said, developers and investors who are at this particular moment rehabilitating properties that are owned by the city of Harvey. So that's basically how you can access those properties, and that's how we deal with the properties as far as getting them redone.
I got a question.
Don't finish.
say if I wanted to purchase the property, how much avenue do I have to go through before I can be able to get the property?
How much haggling? Well, first of all, you have to contact this economic development director. And before we, any properties that are transferred by the city of Harvey to anyone is voted on by city council. So the city council has to vote to transfer that property. I don't have any legal right to just go ahead and transfer properties on my own as a mayor. We have to bring them before the city, and then the city has to vote to allow the transfer of the property.
What criteria like the board
Hold on, I got two people.
We gotta wait one person at a time. Let them be completely finished. Go ahead, go ahead. Let them get completely finished. You first, all right. Go ahead, talk. Go ahead. Finish, sure. There's something on there. Talk about it. All right? Hey, we gotta respect people's opinions. We gotta respect when people are talking. You know, if somebody's not clearly finished, there's no need of, doing, all that stuff. Just respect it. Just wait your turn. This is what it is. Y'all here for. So if he says it's officially written, if you want to come back, you are to come back. Okay? And he here, because you speak of some very good questions. We just don't get this one more. This is one more. So we need to do one more. One more. No, you were singing your resident, you know the reason I became all over the chapel and everything, because we know what the singers has done. Y'all are back on, y'all have raised us, and anybody should be speaking first, it should be. Okay?
Ms. O'Neill and then Ms. Clark. I'm sorry, pardon me, Ms. O'Neill. Jamie Watson and then Ms. Clark. And then Ms. Dawson. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. My question, sorry, I wasn't going to cut you off, but I didn't. Here it is. So my question is, what criteria does the city council use to determine, if you're going to grant someone the opportunity, grant a Harvey resident the opportunity to buy a home? And if there's no other person bidding for that home, why would it be automatically granted?
Well, it can't be automatically granted once again because it has to go by the city council. And it's just a law that it has to go through the city. It's not something I made up. It's just that it's a law that the city council, in order to transfer property properly, because we've seen properties transferred prior to this administration, and people are making claims that they don't have a right to. And we've had to, as a result, fight several legal battles because of that, because property was improperly transferred. But as far as the proper transfer of property, first, when you go on the website and you check out the list of properties, there's also the listing of the criteria. It's a step 1, step 2, step 3, I think it's 4 steps, something, what you need to do. And at the end of the day, the council still has the requirement, as well as this administration, to follow the law. So if we have a viable buyer who is coming to viably purchase a piece of property in our city, from my perspective, but like I said, it would be dependent on the council and what information that they have or want to see. Why wouldn't we want to sell that and get it back on the tax roll?
I just want to add to that there's an application process. It costs $25 there are 84 listed properties on the website that the city owns. 8 pages long. When you go to the city department's website, the top 3 buttons or lines at the top right-hand corner, you too can access that list of those 84 properties. It's labeled as city-owned. And then right underneath it, there's a button to click for judicial. That's a new one, so I have to do some further research to see what exactly that entails. But 84 properties are currently on the road, and I'm assuming that the application would be used almost as a rubric. It identifies who you are, what you do, where you live, why you want to acquire a property in the city of Harvey. The $25 is not refundable. And I'm not certain as to the measure of when you get a reach back, but that is the process. You can go downstairs to the basement and collect that application to put in for one of those 84 commercial, residential, or vacant lots. It was, sorry, Ms. Clay. It was next to Ms. Dyson, and then Ms. Clark. And we're gonna go back to the report of concern, and we'd like you to come up and share some words about roads and ceasefire, as well as the 15-hour leave after the night. Go ahead, Ms. Dyson.
I just have a question now. My other stuff, put that in the background for right now. If there's abandoned homes that are not owned by the city, do you all try to find out, and what do you do to the owners of those homes? Have they been ticketed? Have they been notified? And what's being done to make them clean up the properties or take care of the properties? Because I haven't seen anything change next to the house next to me, and I have inquired about it, so I'm just wondering what's being done. Are they ticketed or a lien put against them? Because I'm quite sure you all have a lien to be put against them, and I know I can put a lien against them. So what's being done?
Okay, well, it all depends. It varies from home to home, from situation to situation. I would say that's an all of the above approach, because there are some that we can handle one way, but others we have to handle another way. But that's the majority of the homes I can attest to are what are called zombie homes, which zombie, which basically in that particular case, and I've spoken on, I've talked about this issue before. Grandma passed away 25, 30 years ago. one of the kids took over the house, but they never went through probate. So the house was never literally legally theirs. Okay? And as long as they pay the water stayed on, so they have a problem as far as that was concerned. Then the parent moves away, say for instance, to California, and the children take over the house. Mind you, it still hasn't gone through any probate. Okay? And then at that particular point in time, something happens, I don't know what type of event, you know, but they're no longer at the home. Now, the city is trying to find out, and now, of course, the house is in disrepair, and the city is trying to find out who owns the home. But the actual homeowner, deceased 35 years ago. So, until we can, one, either get the courts to make a decision for us, and mind you, all of these things are legal processes, and all of these things take money, okay? So we just can't walk in court and say, hey, we got an abandoned house on this street, you know, on 153rd and Ashland. Y'all need to do something about that. We have to, it has to go into a legal proceeding. We have to notify all parties, including the one that is deceased, or at least their heirs, who have an interest in that as well. So there's a lot of other processes that we can take.
I think that part.
Yes.
But what is actually being done, I think the part where you said that it's a legal process. Is there a process in place that's being taken place, because this home has been abandoned 20 years? So I have spoken to you and I have spoken to several others. I have given the names of where it changed over from the owner to the bank to everything else. And so I want to know how long does the process take before it gets started for any of the houses that may be in the city of Harvey? When does the process begin to take place? Has any of the processes taken place for any of the abandoned homes that's been here that no longer has an owner or a bank owned? Are there being liens, or are they being fined? So that was my question.
And that's why we said all of the above, because we try to attempt all of the above.
Okay.
So tickets, trying to establish liens if possible. We have used some other processes under the law in order to be able to fast track demolitions on some homes. But that's when we are able to get the money from either the state, the federal government, or the county to be able to do so. So we have done that. And I just spoke this wasn't yesterday, I'm sorry. This is actually Monday. The days grow together. I spoke actually on Monday about us looking for more attorneys to be able to assist the city, because we really want to be more aggressive on getting those things. And I'm going to keep saying the same thing over and over again, and people just don't like to hear. But the big issue is money. And when you don't have the money, lawyers want to get paid. And when you don't have the money to be able to do all of that, you know, then you run into problems where you can't be as aggressive as you would like to be. Personally, oh yeah, every single day I'd like us to be in court, okay, with these properties, trying to either acquire them, because as I've said, other members of the public have said, there are investors and developers who would like to be able to take advantage of these properties. But if we don't own them, because we cannot acquire them, that's where the problem comes in.
All I was asking them is, if I'm being ticketed, are they being ticketed?
They're being ticketed if we know where the owner is.
Okay. It's not hard to find the owner. I look it up and it's listed.
A listed owner is not always, you're not able to always acquire or contact a listed owner.
True.
Yeah.
That is true. They don't put the information out there.
Well, because grandma died 35 years ago.
No, I'm saying they don't put the information out there like they used to. They used to list it. They used to list if you had a lien against it, how many liens was put against it, and all that. So.
They still do. That information is still publicly available to any and everyone. The problem is depending on the home, like I said, that's why it varies from home to home. But sometimes in the case, especially with like a zombie home, or a home that was, this is one of our biggest problems,
So we
During
have
the
an ordinance.
2006.
We have an ordinance for them to be treated.
Yes,
Okay.
okay.
Great. Go ahead, sir. So wait, no, you-
The city, why the city making it so difficult for you to be able to put this on? And you don't have to go through all of that. If you say, I want to put this building, you don't have to go through all that. And you only, why I got to go through all of this here paperwork around that? Why you just can't tell it?
If the city owns it,
Yeah.
we have to follow the law.
You are the law.
I don't get to make those types of laws, sir. And like I said, in order for us to sell it to you and transfer it to you, it has to come before the city council. That's the law. That's not our law as far as locally, that's a state law. So that has to be done.
Okay, well, basically, when I'm coming to the conclusion is that you guys asked a good question, Mayor, thank you for the question that you asked. This is where we need our state representatives and to get involved, the people that we vote for. We need the county is in charge of enforcing taxes. So why are we in this situation when we have to resort to things that we're doing just to get our money when the county should be up there because they get the money and they just spread it on out to us. They're the main ones that get the money. So what is that issue? When we come to vacant property, you have an issue with, I have residents that, the family, the mother, the owner, the father that passed. Okay, they got 3 or 4 different siblings, kids, right? They're fighting over the house, okay? Because nobody has power of attorney. But in the meanwhile, ain't nobody cutting grass, ain't nobody doing nothing. The house is just sitting there, and they expect them to come by and cut it, or the city should be cutting it for free. If y'all arguing about y'all should be taking care of that house. If nobody else has, you shouldn't have the right to take it. That's a big mess too. Family business is a big mess too. So all these vacant properties, if we broke it down to a certain list, it's so many reasons for these vacant properties. But it ain't all on the city. But at the same time, whatever it is we're doing for our taxes, and we need to get our taxes, we're not the only entity that accept taxes, that receive taxes. There's 7, 8, or different entities that receive taxes outside of our.
It's 14 of them.
14. What are they doing? Anybody call and ask them what are they doing for their taxes? We need to be able to get that, but I'm going to move on.
I just said, what is it for the city owned property, the legislative body, to come up with some type of program where the city employees that don't live here can purchase property so they can move back here and be here on this journey with them. They can stay here, their particular investment may be a little different. They may be more interesting. Because I myself sat down often and watched all of the city cars and city employees pick stop, pick the toll, they go east, they go west, so, if they were here with us, we had an opportunity to purchase residential property, maybe they would what we're finding.
Ms. Parker, if I could just add to that, so the chair, I don't know if that may be legislation, but Ms. Smith is the chair of the Economic Development Committee. Perhaps that's something that, again, she can push on that whole area, absolutely, a resolution.
If all the ones could have her way, I would be the one to make law enforcement safe. Because we all would be safe. We will all be safe because I'm on the west side. And that was required over there on home, where the city's robot used to be, they call it Chicagoland. You know why? Because when the police moved in, all the gangbangers and drug dealers moved out. But that's something we can't make an employee do. Probably because of union reasons, they don't have to stay there. They can rent one apartment. Them apartments that was allegedly where people up in, I remember Harvey police was using that building to use as a residence to work here. So they fixed all that. So if that was something, I believe that's what we
The police don't know anyway when it comes to things to make them feel safe. And to me, it's a public safety thing, so it really hurts.
I just wanted to chime in before you mere thought, so just so audience you're aware of how those processes go for writing a resolution, creating an ordinance. You need 3 signatures to get it on the agenda, okay? And typically, 2 members would submit, or actually, pardon me, the chair, whomever that may be, and here is the chair of the Economic Development Committee, would submit to in a Economic Development Committee meeting similar to this, where we discuss or create a resolution or amend a resolution or an ordinance. And then me and Tracy could sign on that agenda or on that email or however it goes to the clerk so that we can present that as an agenda item. And then we need a 2/3 vote, which would be a majority, 4 out of the 6, hopefully 6 out of the 6. And I'm telling you all now that we support having police officers from the city of Harvey live here. Because one thing we know, you're going to protect where you lay your head. And I'm here every night, right? Vigilantly watching across 155th Street. So, Ms. Smith, openly, we stand with you. Let's get that resolution created. Because we got all the persons that goes down the document.
Type of legislation done, we need 3 signatures by 3 authors. 2 ain't gonna do it. We need 3. 3 just to get it on the like ballot or whatever, or on the agenda. 3, and then once it's been referred to the council to discuss the vote by
To Ms. Clark, thank you so much for that solution. That actually is a solution that we're already working on. So we wanted to be able to try to figure it out. And we have to be working on it for several reasons. One is because all of these men and women that you see, they are very underpaid in comparison to what their counterparts are paid in other cities. So even though they don't live here, some of them don't live here, they're still working here, and they're working here for under the common or average wage. So when you're trying to, say for instance, pass an ordinance that goes about requiring someone to actually residency, okay, then you're having a whole other conversation. We're going to get some of you involved in that conversation as we move forward. I talked about that on Monday as well. Because we need to understand what the union's position is as far as that's concerned. What we have to do, what we have to go through as far as grievances and arbitration as we try to move forward with those types of things. What litigation comes up as a result of trying to make that happen. Those are things. Then, at the same time, you have to make sure that where, say for instance, in 1980, there were a lot of people in the city at that particular time prior to a certain flight that took place. There were a lot of people in the city that could hold those types of positions. But if we make a requirement, and then we don't have people who live in the city to hold those types of positions, then where are we going to get our forces from? So there's a lot of things to consider, but the one thing that you did say that we are already looking at and trying to find some progress on is to be able to offer, homes or, residences to especially our first responders, both police and fire. Because if we can get them, especially the younger ones, and I only say the younger ones, because some of them can use these as starter homes, okay? Because some of them aren't homeowners and they can use them as starter homes. So we are working on that, and that's a fantastic suggestion and solution. Thank you.
The officers that stop to talk to me, we have a resurgence of ladies of industry who walk into our day life, almost totally naked on 154th Street while children are out here. And I actually stopped one. I said, ma'am, I have a dress in my car. She was almost totally
or address her unless she was totally negative. Last, Monday night, when I left the city council meeting, I turned right to go west on 154. Before I got to Wood Street, I counted 4. Now, this is a problem for me. I don't know what to do about it. I know one side of under a different administration that there was a problem on 154 on Bay Street. I came here from Atlanta. Stuff like that. I came here from Atlanta back to the white home. You sent a letter of record to the land of record.
We got to do opportunity to ask questions, and then we asking other people, this is how the scope is. You can't go back and then ask another question.
I'm
already up there to explain everything.
Thank you.
You know, I appreciate you. She's a good advocate, you know, a good resident of City Hall. She got a good thing. Well, I'm trying to look at that. I'm looking at people's hands about to fall off the road. You still got any race to get no fight. Okay, who you got? All right.
Okay, I have a question. Have you ever thought about an anti program for the fees? Because the neighbor next to me, she's upset. She wants county as taxes, and this she let go because of the fees. And I talked to her about it. She said, I'm fighting with the city, but she didn't want fees, so she won't keep that grant. So if they had a 2-day amnesty program or a 24-hour amnesty program, and use that money to fund the attorneys to get these other houses.
You know what? That is a great idea. Anybody know what the atmosphere is? It's like, they do it like the toll roads. You got tickets, and they say your fee was this, or you got tickets in the city. They say you got an opportunity to pay a $150. That's better than getting some money, better than getting no money. So that's a great idea, man. What she was bringing on up, you're gonna get an opportunity for people to pay these bills. So once they get to a certain amount, they be like, you know, they can't pay that. But if you just get an amnesty, like the price of the residency, not the interest, doubling on up and everything. Then we get a lot of these fees, you know, covered and get some money instead of no money. Because some people gonna run until the long as they can until you get them before you pay for it back. You know, I missed an $80 or $60 toll fee and never paid it. You know, they went up to 25, you know, like 100, and the speed light tickets, you get 100, and then like that, they go up to 150, then 200, and then 300, you're like, oh man, but you gotta wait till you get 3 or 5, so I just said, okay, well, I have to be careful, so I need copies before I pay them. You know, if we all done it, that actually would help to get some money that we now recover. So, now who's next?
So I have 2 things I want to talk about. The first one is the property. And I hear a lot of people saying how we have abandoned properties. But for those of you that are here and you own your properties, the one thing that you can do is you can do a total, which is a transfer at death. So if you have children and you own property, what you can do is go to the clerk or me, because I have a resource center downtown Harvey. And you're going to say, 153-41 Center. And these are the things that I do that I help people with. So if you have a property and you have children, there's a form that you can fill out. It's called a transfer at death form. You can put the names of the individual that you want to have your property in the event that you pass away. And then you file it downtown. Once you file that form, when God forbid, whenever God calls you home, they take that form that they have down to downtown Chicago, along with your death certificate. Then they have to do an acceptance. Once they do an acceptance, now that property is in their name. That's better than a will, and that's better than a trust. Because with a trust, you don't file anyway. You go to the attorney, they pay all this money for trust, they give you it in writing. If you lose that trust and something happens to the attorney's database, you have nothing, right? So the best thing to do is do a transfer at death. If you want more information, I can help you with that. My resource center is 15341 Center Avenue. I have the paperwork, I'm a notary. You can do that and you go downtown. Sometimes they'll have a sale, what they call, and you can pay $59 to file it. Or I think the highest is like $109 to do that. So that's number one. Number two, I'm going to go back to safety. So because my store is on 154th and Center, I see him parking all up and down 154th. And one day I walked up to his car. I said, hey, what you doing? I've seen you here for the last week. This was last year. This man told me, oh, I'm here investigating some things in Harvey. Right? Right down to this day, this same man drives up and down the street. I had a gentleman tell me that he saw this man approaching a 15-year-old girl. And he told the man, if you put that young girl in your car, you're gonna have some problems. Now, I'm not quite sure what the police can do about that, but I do know if we were in an affluent neighborhood and we had these cars that roll up and down the street all day long, we know that they're not here doing anything good. And I've talked to a couple of police officers and I've let them know that I'm taking the license plates and I'm giving it to them. My fear is we have kids walking up and down the street all day long going to one stop. And young girls, right? My fear is one day these men are going to catch these young girls and something is going to happen to them. Because I see it all day long. I sit outside my store and I watch because we have kids walking up and down the street. So I watch the kids. I want to make sure that they get to the store and at least they get out of my sight so they don't have anything happening to them while I'm there. So I'm not quite sure, Chief Bennett, what can be done, but 154th and Center Street, these men troll that block all day long. All day long. All day long. And it's one older gentleman that parks his car at the bank. And he watches these young girls. This man, I promise you, this man got to be at least 8 years old. And it's a BMW. He sits in his BMW all day long. And then the burgundy car, and then this gray Armada. Those 3 cars, they sit on the street, they run up and down the block. They make circles all day long, and I watch them all day long. So, talk about safety, that's a huge safety issue. Because like she said, we have women walking up and down the street half naked, in which some of them, I bring it to my store, and I call them for free. Because that's what I'm there to do. I'm here to serve the public. So I give them clothes. I let them come in and wash up in my bathroom, which is super small. But that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to serve. So I'm just saying, if there's something that we can do, and let me say this though, because the police do troll 154, I have to give it to you guys. I've seen police officers, they come to my store to make sure that I'm okay. They've done a lot. I talked to Patterson, and he let me know, like in the summertime, you guys were doing the walk-in. They were going from business to business. I watched them go to the bus. You know, see them come to me. I see them go to one stop. So I want to say thank you to you guys because when you're there and you're out there, there is, you know, things that people hanging out on the streets, and I've watched you guys, right? When they're crowded on that corner, and you guys come and you make them move. So I want to say thank you because that makes me feel safe. That makes my customers feel safe because we don't have people just hanging out. So I want to say thank you guys because I watch you guys and I see how you guys are making a difference on that block. So thank you.
Me personally, like as already, when I see what's going on 154th Street and all of this for me, I'm not really opposed to any kids coming in, getting nachos, candy, and stuff like that and everything when this day type of environment. They, we shouldn't, if it's a liquor store just for adults, don't bring your kids in the stores. Little kids come in the liquor store and everything looking on. That's really not a good look, but I can't really change that. Go ahead.
Thank you, Lovey. So I just wanted to let everybody know, if you have an opportunity, we post a lot of information on across our Facebook page and as well as our YouTube page. On May 21st of this year, we posted, which means it happened somewhere within the 24 hours. We posted a meeting that we had that was open to the public with the Cook County Clerk's Office, where they discussed the property, and it was called the Property After Death Forum, where they talked about the TODs, the transfer on death forum and things of that nature. Now, that happened on May 21st, 2024. So it's something that the city is aware of and addressing, as well as working with our Cook County partners to do so. If you were not able to make that event, then it is on the City of Harvey YouTube page. The date is May 21st, 2025. And it's an hour and 36 minutes. So they're giving plenty of information. Also, as far as the sex workers are concerned, the City of Harvey is in a very unique situation as far as our work with sex workers. So we understand that, first of all, many of the sex workers that we see, and we don't see as many as we used to, okay? But the ones that are still out there are issues that impact them. Some of them is mental issues, some of them is drug issues. But what we try to do and what we have is diversion and deflection that we use with them. But once again, I'm going to let the chief speak, because as far as us dealing with the Johns, if you go on our YouTube page for July the 9th, 2025, you will see where the City of Harvey conducted a sting, and I'm going to let him go ahead.
So in July, we conducted a sting on 154th Street in conjunction with Sergeant Patterson and a couple other organizations. We went out there and we engaged with some of the jobs. If you look on our Facebook page, people were arrested. We posted, busted, because we're trying to be proactive in our efforts to try to mitigate that type of stuff from happening. We have another operation that will be happening in the near future, so we can make sure that we're not just locking up the jobs, but we also want to get these young women that are out there helping. You know, like Mary mentioned, this is not just a law enforcement approach where you just, incarcerate. This is an issue where it's plaguing them, where it's mental health, and we're trying to have an organization that we call TASK, Treatment Alternatives for Safe Communities, that come out and they try to provide assistance to these young women. And it's, of course, voluntarily. We can't force them into this, but we no longer have the different mental health hospitals like Tinley Park and others where we can take these people to. If they're going live and going to Eagles, they'll be pushing them out in an hour or two because they're inundated and have a lot of people come in. So that's not making excuses, but we're trying to find different and better ways to make sure we're helping these people. And we do know it, we do see it. That's why, again, you see my team out there on 154th and Center. I believe you and I spoke earlier this week at one stop. So we are actively trying to figure out ways, but I think more forums and, again, like I said on Monday, community effort. This takes all of us to be able to figure this thing out. It's not just the chief biddings and our police department, what you're going to do about it. Give us ideas, give us suggestions, and we'll try to figure this thing out collectively, okay? Thank you.
Great, that's great. So now we want, we don't, after the guy, we're going to speak, they don't know, because you force them to have extra time, we got not working with you, so we go there and see you come back and we're going to get back to you, because we're going to get another week. Go ahead, sir.
Okay,
You want to stand on up? Oh, you first.
So one of my favorite quotes is one of my favorite quotes is groups without relationships breeds rebellion. And this as a public safety meeting, one of the things that I've often found helpful with dealing with public safety is to be able to have resources. But as I was trying to extract in the last meeting, Harvey is operating as the third worst city as it relates to its collection rate with the county. It's literally right after Robbins, which is known as the poorest suburb in Cook County. With 12,904 taxable properties, it's only at a 52% collection rate. And I know that that's not a city enforcement issue, but what I'm saying is that people are not paying into the tax base for the resources to be here to address the issues, and then they're raising taxes around the whole Southland. And so the ones who are paying their taxes, they're frustrated. But then the ones who are not, they're not helping solve the problem. So the question that I have to the city, to all the people into the city, is why is Harvey, with such a huge tax base, which you all should be making around $57.7 million in revenue, only getting $30 million? Why is this like this, and what is the solution? Because you have a lot of
businesses in Harvey that's not paying taxes. But that's what I wanted to know.
Thank you. Good point. Good point. You don't have any streets in the streets. Ceasefire, this is one of the, resources that we have in the city. They've been doing an excellent job.
Mr. Bacon,
Well, represent, sir. Where's the up there? Well, you wanna come up here? Well,
I'm just saying, greetings to everybody, good evening, my name is Colonel Baker, I'm a outreach supervisor for Rollins Ceasefire. What we do is very simple, we try to offer services for people who've been affected by gun violence, mainly if they were shot or if they are gun users, gun carriers, we're trying to turn a different lead. When you see us in your neighborhood, 9 times out of 10, we are trying to inform the people about events that are going on, or the definitely see as if a shooting happened in your area. And we try to go door to door, we try to at least alert the people in the area if there's something going on, because a lot of times people a couple doors down don't know what's going on in their neighborhood. The young lady asked a question earlier, what is the answer to gun violence? And the answer is nobody has the answer. So all we do is we try to put a message of positivity out there. We try to have a presence in the streets, and we try to be seen. And I figure if one shooter sees us and says, you know what, I'm not trying to do that, then that's doing something. So that's what we do. We just try to make a difference, whether it's small or big, and that's what we do with those.
Standing up to represent, show who we are. These are just two of the many resources that we have in the city. I really appreciate it.
Yes, my name is James Yates. I'm with Activist Inc. Activist Inc. is a violence prevention organization. We look at violence through a public health lens. One of the ways in which we attempt to tackle the violence in different troubled areas throughout Chicago and now in the suburbs, we attempt to establish a relationship with those individuals who are at risk, in those at-risk areas in the neighborhood. What I mean by at-risk, we mean those individuals who are involved in the violence, right? Those individuals who are quote-unquote gang-banging, those individuals who like to shoot, those individuals who like to fight. We try to establish a relationship with these individuals, right? And attempt to create a paradigm shift with those individuals, to educate them with regard to violence and provide them with different resources that we have. We provide them with medical. We have a hospital response team in which cater to those individuals who are victims of violence. We have educational opportunities. We provide job opportunities. One of the things also that we do, we try to have those individuals we call peacekeepers or participants, right? We have them go into the neighborhoods and communicate with other individuals who are involved in violence, other individuals who are involved in gang activity and stuff like that there. We attempted, when we moved here in Harvey, because we have 9 sites throughout Chicago, the south side of Chicago, we targeted what we consider to be one of the most troubled areas, the area in which this young lady was speaking about. We set our office right there on 153rd and Page, where all that prostitution used to be back in the days. So we wanted to be right there to try to help the neighbors, to help the members or the members in that area with dealing with that type of stuff. So just to make a long story short, so our office is on 153rd Page, 15308, right? And we also have a number of different types of activities for the youth in Harvey. Thank you.
Right here, we're going to be really good. Or anybody that have any type of question, we're going to take a line in just 2 minutes. 2 minutes, each person, 2 minutes. Go ahead. We'll come back. 2 minutes.
I was going to call City Harvey. This administration first got in. We tried to help him today. One of the problems I had is he started out on the first community policing class. I think he was 20. We had classes. They all even one of the classes with me. still was in it, or he was in the class, and my follow me there, why did it stop? Because I believe that the police and the citizens have to have some kind of relationship. Because if you don't have a relationship, you come around and ask for questions, you know, first, when the shooting happened, down the street from my house, and also my camera, Muhammad comes out of my house and he said, you got a camera. He said, you'd like to get the footage. Although I come to City Hall and I was angry and all that, I get mad because I have issues about that. But my problem is this. My problem is this. We don't have communication with the police except at a meeting when we have all 15 or 16 officers here. And then on my block, my lady down the street, across the street from me, had 17 minutes to get to her house before anybody showed up, and they were not only gone, they had closed the door and left. Nobody called. Her car was broken into. As the sister, she moved, she bought a house for $160,000 across the street from me, and now she says she's moving because she doesn't seem like she has any help. Not only that, she told me, who is the city of Harvey? She doesn't know all of it in the 6 wards she never met. I said, he started on, he said, yes or no. She says, why can't I find out what's going on my time? So I say this, what we have to do is, we have to communicate first. We can't downgrade each other. And I see the meeting going on. I say all of this part of the problem here with the city and everything else, with our safety, with our exploitation of the citizens, is they have to see something civilized over here. Respect. For those in the minority, the majority, it has to be a mutual respect. Without the mutual respect, how are you going to police the issue? How are you going to talk about it? Without people being involved with community policing, how are they supposed to get the trust the police if they don't know? Only time we see them is when something goes down. I saw some police cars outside my bedroom, and I could tell when that man got the bullet that got all the bullets hit his body. He said, well, 30-some bullets and 50-some bullets. I heard it knocked me on my head. It reminded me of back in the war again. And I'm just telling you, this shouldn't be happening. When I left the war 30 years ago, I got a war outside my door. It doesn't make sense. The other things, we have to understand, not just community policing the block out. We started with a 40 block out. I was remember, I still got my shirt at the house. But I had no use for it because the city did not continue the operation. The city didn't continue the operation. We have citizens who would report to the police something before that. They would identify me. And you say something about the civil service with the police. The police need the civil service. I don't know the civil service division. One of the people died. The other guy moved out of Harvey. And I'm the only one left of the original people. So I was in all those different things with Harvey, but nothing came to full fruition. It's like the city, for some reason, forgot about the citizens. And I don't know about the thing about the police, living and all that in Harvey. It's not hard to get police. I'm not going to touch that. Because guess what? It's hard for somebody to put their life in their line, especially if they didn't understand. But I do say this. If you say that there's a problem with disqualified people, because there's a problem you can't get. Well, I say this, Harvey advertised those jobs, that you have a job, don't just give somebody a job, advertise it as city of Harvey resident first, Mayor, then give it to somebody else outside the city. Don't just give it to somebody outside the city automatically, because if the people don't know that, the people, when I was running for office, I met many people who were professional. They said nobody talked to them from the city, no advertising, they got no information about it. And that's how we get things done. We get things done by communicating and working together. I don't believe that the city is lost, but I believe one thing for sure. That if we don't communicate, we perish. You see who's in the White House, he gives a rat tail about us in Harvey. We have to take care of ourselves. So Harvey has to take care of itself. The same with the houses have to be a situation. They are really available. Don't make it like a game. You got to know the property number of all the person. You got to know this and that. No. Especially the houses on a plant that outside that put it on a water bill. Once every 6 months or something. These are the houses that are available to the city owns, and these are the advantage houses. Give us a local communication. That's what we need.
Yeah, please. That's what we just put on. You want to come on this somewhere before you come to this?
Get in front of everyone, if they can come to me. My name is Rabbi Michael Nelson, New York activist in Chicago. First and foremost, I want to thank everyone for coming out. I barely live in Chicago. I appreciate you all coming out because it's powerful. It's consistently restoring families and communities. But here's why I'm here. I'm I'm here because of the fact the violence impacts our communities, impacts Chicago, impacts here, so we can't just use the zip code and say, oh, it's their problem, well, I'm not gonna get involved. I'm here to consider and help you all, like I do in Chicago. I also want to say here, when it comes to, I heard the question about someone saying before I came in, what can we do about this problem? I'm an advocate for the streets, meaning I take to the streets. I go on the streets and walk the streets and they see a vision. I don't wait for the police because here's the thing I believe, we don't wait for the police, we police ourselves. And when we police ourselves, is we go in those streets and let them see you standing up for your community and standing up for those who are involved. So I'm advocating to put forward a peace march, to walk in these streets. And I heard she say that they knew about this problem. That's absurd. That's absurd. I want to go right in front of the area and walk down the street in front of where the boxes are coming to show them to see the right. I don't need the police. We are the police. And the only ones who are going to take care of us is us.
Right. That's right.
I'm not waiting a man because if this problem been so how long, what I heard the other day on the press conference, they're not going to do anything for you. They're not going to do anything for you. And they want to do something for you. They would put these people in place. They've got the sheriff department, or whomever department is involved, they help them with this problem. But since someone is murdered, for them to have these meetings.
Right.
Think about it. Think about it. Does that make sense? That makes sense to me, so that's why I'm not. And I think if the record took the sheet away, I was going to do this on the meeting day. I think we had a city council meeting. They took the sheet away. They don't want the voices to be heard. They don't want you to have an outrage. They don't want to see your voices. So I say, forgive them, we got to do this. We got to take these streets. We got to be one to stand in front of those gangbangers and give them an alternative. If you have a problem, there's a way how we address the problem and we sit down and negotiate and figure out what can we do to come to a resolution. Because these children are murdered. I have an organization I founded called Save Our Children. Why call it Save Our Children? Because so many of our children are in the ground. We didn't have these children. We didn't have these children to be put in the ground before us. We have these children to be a legacy to our families. So I'm here to do something about this. I'm here to do something about this because I was out there in Willowbrook with National out there. I was out there in Highland. I was everywhere when it comes to this violence. I stood for Mayor Lightfoot, Jamie Printer, Ken Fox, every last one of those politicians know who I am. Right? Talk about this problem. So we got to be out here. So I want to connect with the organizations. I want to have meetings. I want to talk about how we can get this under control. We're not going to have another 4-year-old shot in this city. We're not going to have another grandmother like we saw in Chicago, shot and laid down in the middle of the streets. We're not going to have our mothers going up to the grocery store. We got to do something about this. All right.
I'm in total agreement. We do need to do something about this, sir. So if you have the solution, if you have the answer to this problem that's plagued our cities and other cities, including the city of Chicago, I'll say this on behalf of the Harvey Police Department. We're willing to work with it. The Harvey Police Department understands we have the answer. We're here because we're trying to find a solution.
You sat there at that press conference and said you knew about that gun violence the whole time. You sat there on that press conference and said you knew about that murder.
We're not here to fight with you. All I'm here to say.
You knew about it and didn't do it. You need to resign, sir.
Okay.
You need to step down. You need to step down.
If you're in-
When you have that baby shot down like that, and you know about it and do nothing about it, man, you need to step down as well too.
You know what? You don't.
Now, that's the things you,
Absolutely.
I don't panic to politicians. I call it the way it is.
Absolutely.
Those
I
children
agree.
shot murder, man.
So this is allowing people's freedom of speech, all the other stuff, you're out of order. You're out of order. We're not.
You do not have the right to say anything you can't be recognized.
You're not.
Wait.
Wherever you with the little girl got shot,
Why are you giving me started? Why do you respect my meeting and wait till it's time to look at it? Can you do that? You see how this works right now? Attention everyone, let's hold up, let's stop all this, Alderwoman Talani Smith, just out of respect, okay, can we just give you, it's 6:46, can we give you 3-4 minutes for you to talk and explain? It's only fair and I only respect you last day, so you have 4 minutes.
She doesn't have four, thank you.
No.
Thank you.
She has.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Go ahead, say what you guys said, because it's best to be heard.
It takes a village, they say. Saying we all knew about that. We all see that's why I saw on Facebook. The police already said this is an ongoing issue. This has been retaliation for who knows how long. That's something that they did say. And we all know the streets talk. So again, what I'm saying is there's another child that got shot maybe about a month ago. I just want to know what you would rather to come and start walking the streets then. Because that probably would have been a good time to walk the street. Hold on, I'm talking. We allowed you to talk. We allowed you to talk. And you are visiting us, aren't you, Mr. Rabbi? So therefore, listen to what I'm saying to you, because we allowed you to talk. Be respectful, because you came here being disrespectful. Okay, you came here being disrespectful, and you should not have. Because that's the same thing you just said, right? About we have to respect each other, we got to work together, correct? So we can't do that when we have someone visiting that don't even live here, that ain't been dealing with our struggles, to come here and try to talk us down. That's not going to happen. We are very happy to work with you, because we need all the help we can get, but you do need to be respectful. You do, for real, as a man, a black man. So, what I'm saying to you, when the young lady got shot, maybe you should have been boots on the ground then, walking to make sure that 4-year-old didn't get hit. That was an isolated issue. Can't nobody stop nobody from retaliation. We can try. We even got persons that live next door that knew probably what was going on. A lot of people are afraid to tell. I'm hoping, I thought we had an anonymous line where people calling to be anonymous. Some people be afraid to do those things. Everybody not fighting. But I'm saying, I'm glad that you ready to do boots on the ground, because we need it. I believe it. So like I said, please.
You don't know my record. I've been boosting the ground since I was 20 years
so
old.
then you should have got shot then.
20 years old.
All right, I gave her 4 minutes. She spoke. Please respect everything. We gonna keep order in here. We're not gonna get anything. Everybody got their hands on her. Ain't no more questions being answered. We're gonna break this whole up right now. Period. 6:48. That's it. Mayor, you got any more closing things before I make my closing comments? We're gonna do that. No more questions. No more questions. No more questions. All right. All right. If not, we just break it on up now. No more questions.
I never got an answer to the very simple question that I asked about the collection rate of the city. I asked y'all and the city, everybody sitting here.
Okay, so
y'all not just go, huh?
that's still considered a public safety issue
Yeah.
with the taxes?
Yes.
Okay, well, when you asked that, why would before you sat down, why you wait to put your answer before you sat down?
I sat down so that
Okay,
y'all
okay,
can
can we get an answer to the question?
I would love to.
Can you give an answer to the question?
yes, so as far as the tax collection rate, the tax collection rate is extremely important because it impacts safety. One of the reasons why, I think someone, and I don't remember who it was, spoke on how many auxiliary police officers that we had prior to our layoffs of 10%. We had 465 commercial properties that owed us approximately, just say $12 million. I won't get the exact number. If we were able to collect that $12 million, that would take care of a lot of our budget shortfall. In total, the city of Harvey misses about $25 to $27 million a year in tax collection. And approximately 12 million of those dollars come from commercial properties here in the city. So as far as the 52% collection rate, well, first of all, it's not only a Harvey problem because we are the beneficiaries of it, but honestly, someone should, in my opinion, be putting pressure on the county to actually do something about it so we can actually get the money that we're supposed to have. Because we've all talked about it so far. If we can't do the scavenger sale, if we can't do the no cash bid, and if we can't collect our taxes that we're supposed to be able to collect through the county, then we will be permanently a welfare state that always relies on the kindness of others in order for us to be able to function. And then outside of all of that, while we are a permanent welfare state, we are sitting here fighting over nothing. We're fighting over absolutely nothing because we don't have anything to fight over. And that's one of the worst parts is because they want us to fight over these types of things so we take our eye off the ball. You want somebody saying JP? That's right, it's a JP issue. It's a state senate issue. It's a state representative issue. It's a congressperson issue. And a lot of these people are running for office right now. Okay, it's a 5th District Cook County Commissioner issue. All of these are issues, and these people are not doing anything about it, but we're sitting fighting each other. Now, that was the answer to that, but what I wanted to answer, just real quick, civil service is active. The Civil Service Commission is active and engaged, okay? And we have members of the Civil Service Commission, okay? And one of them is here. But as far as advertising jobs is concerned, our jobs are advertised on every platform we possibly can. Not only our website do we advertise jobs, but you can go on Indeed and all those other websites, and you can also find City of Harvey jobs. So and we have applicants, as our HR person talked about this past Monday. We have applicants coming in over and over again trying to apply for these jobs. So we do have jobs. But we're going to, well, we can, like I said, the best room, the biggest room in your house is the room for improvement. So we're going to try to do more. But it gives the impression that we're not doing anything at all. And we are. Jobs are advertised. Civil Service Commission is very engaged in taking care of the police and fire and any city service positions. So that's it.
All right, thank you, man. So what we gonna do, no more questions. No more questions. I'm gonna let Alderwoman Chapman close it on out. We gotta be out of here at 8 o'clock. Alderwoman Chapman, I want you to close it on out. And if you wanna leave your time to somebody else.
No, I can take these 2 minutes. Because I do want to say that currently, so you all are aware, we have a municipal code on the books, 05-102-160, passed Monday, January 22nd, and 2024. Okay? A year later after, we also, in June of 2023, made business that are a part of the churches pay for a business license. Okay? Let's start there. We made churches pay for a business license. So where's the collection, the revenue? The Department of Revenue was here. However, unfortunately, he lost his son. If you all didn't know that, so please keep him lifted in prayer. And thankful for his mighty grit to still come back and serve the residents of Harvey. But we've yet today not learned how much money we've collected in the revenue department. For the past 2 meetings, you all pay $20,000 a month to the comptroller, Lewis Williams. Yet still, for the past 2 meetings, where the departmental reports were to be given, unfortunately, that fell on this man. That's the second thing.
That's not true. Council does not get paid $20,000.
So who's W and W?
Yeah.
Who's W and W there? But I'm talking, so that's what.
Yes.
So who's W and W consultant?
That is our control.
Right.
We don't pay him $20,000.
How much did we pay him last month?
You gave $20,000. That's what.
My point is that he's being paid $20,000 on any given day. Ain't nobody up to him making $20,000.
A lot of money. A lot of money.
You just talked about though. We were
Lot of
answering Mr. Brown's question that had nothing to do with public safety. But then you said it was public safety. So which one is it? Okay, so the other portion is, I stated, excuse me, I'm talking, don't be rude. Okay?
You can't provide what you can't afford.
So with that in mind, we have a settlement agreement on the books, okay? The settlement agreement came just 1 week after we put up 05, 102, 160, that says that if you do owe back property taxes, you are not eligible to operate a business. And guess what? I agree with that. I stand on that. I stand on that because if you're not paying your taxes here, you don't need to be here. But that's the law. We cannot bend the law, create a settlement agreement, say you can pay $2,500 a month, that's $30,000 a year, that's the highest. You could pay $12,000 before last year, December 31, 2024, and then another $12,000. Or you can pay $20,000 flat. So what's most people gonna do? That's a payday loan, if I know. Right or wrong? Right or wrong? So where's that money being allocated? Let me tell you, Shad Swingers over on Dixie Highway, one business I know for a fact paying $2,500. Straight down Dixie, as well as the insurance, right? So with that in mind, how much money have they paid towards the settlement agreement that they're paying $2,500 into, $30,000 a year? Where has that money gone? Where has the money gone? So with that in mind, we have a settlement agreement on the books, and
Got 3 minutes though. Why have you not arrested Jedediah Brown? Harvey cops don't follow the rules. Why should anybody else? Harvey cops don't follow the rules. Why should anybody follow the rules? Harvey cops don't follow the rules. Delaney Smith's niece attacked me. She's a criminal right there. There's a criminal. They're all sitting up there. That's why we have all the problems we have. Why did your niece attack me, Delaney Smith? Why did you answer that?
Ladies and gentlemen, please keep it on.
Alderwoman Smith, you don't have an answer, do you? And they still have not arrested that man for violating my order. Are you going to do your job and arrest that man for violating that order of protection that I have? So you're not going to follow the law and do your job?
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go. Let's clear the room.
So why did your niece assault and batter me, Delaney Smith?
Come on.
So you don't have any answers?
Let's go.
You don't have any
Let's
answers?
go.
No. Go arrest the criminal, Jedediah Brown. I'm not a criminal. He violated the order of protection.
Let's go.
Don't come after me. Go get him.
Let's go. Come on, come out the door. Let's go. Come
come out the door. Let's go.
No, I am not the criminal. He's violating the order of protection, and you aren't doing your fucking job. How dare you get it? How dare you, Sergeant? You are not following the law.
He asked you to leave.
So you're refusing not to? Everybody here is my witness. Hey, everybody, put your eyes on this right now. That man is violating the order of protection, and Harvey police are letting him get away with it. So you don't care anything about the law. Got it. Got it on camera. Got it on camera. You guys are my witnesses. How do you expect people to obey the laws when you guys don't? That's ridiculous. Why should anybody? Why don't you spend less time harassing us and more time on the streets?
Come on. Come on.
Why didn't you go get Jedediah and stop harassing me? I'm on public property that I pay for. Go get him. Go arrest Jedediah. Do your job. Do your job. Of course they're not going. Go arrest Jedediah. Go. This is ridiculous. How many times is he going to violate my order and you guys don't do anything? Multiple violations. Nothing. Nothing at all. Did you see where Jedediah went? He walked out the door while the police here were yelling at me and totally left him to do whatever he wants. That whole meeting was a fucking joke. Fucking joke. Look, they're not doing anything. They're just sitting there. Just sitting there. And look, they're not in a hurry. They're just chilling in there. That's Ramona, who works for the mayor. You got the police officers there. So they just for the record, everybody saw they let Jedediah go again. They let him go again.
Take your thing off. Take your thing off.
Oh, a picture? Okay, hold on.
Come on, get in this picture.
The criminals.
Take it right quick. Take this one right quick. Come on, Ryan. Let Ryan get on in.
Brian, you when you know.
That's what leaders look like. All right, now everybody look to the right.
That must be crazy.
Call me Tommy for mayor.
Got it?
Good job.
That's why I had to stand up for those.
I'm sorry they were so rude to you guys, Colby, but you guys did great.
Forget
You
him.
guys did.
Keep doing what y'all doing. Keep standing up.
Well, that's
Keep standing up.
I was gonna say, how can we trust police that have arrested all the 4 times?
Nothing wrong when there's flyers.
Hey, you're
All
gonna.
right, young man, you okay?
How to start that back up.
I already got a list of a couple houses.
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
we got to figure out how to start that back up. 'Cause
Yeah, that
we
was.
need to
That's
start
so
that back up.
positive.
It just
Exactly,
needs to be
very positive.
Like we went crazy, they're not paying attention, but for any property that we touch, we have to look at the taxes and make sure they're not paid for 2 years. Because otherwise you get people who jump on you, you're doing the right.
Jason, right? We're friends on Facebook.
Aw, that's nice.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
What's your name? Okay.
But I thought, remember when GT was with us, he said that by state laws, you can do that for if it's a nuisance.
If a property is clearly a
Freaking ridiculous.
that's what the state law says. I think
That's like
he sent me
what, the third time? Third time now that they should have arrested him, and they didn't. Instead, they harassed me and others. Why don't you guys go arrest Jedediah? That's the third time you guys have not arrested Jedediah. The law says you're supposed to arrest him for violating my order. Why are you standing here? That's the third time on camera. On camera.
So if we know that it's
Here they go. Bye, Glenn. Sorry you didn't get to ask more of your questions. I wanted to ask some things too.
I wanted to ask about Saturday. How come there was no, but he cut it off?
But now,
What did Jedediah do?
He's violated. I have a no stalking order against him that he's violated multiple times, and now I have 3 times on camera where Harvey police have refused to arrest him. They're supposed to arrest him. You can't violate an order like that. But they don't care because they're working for Clark. They all work for Clark. And Jed's working for Clark. Great job.
He's supposed to be away from you so many feet.
No. The violation's already occurred. Like, I mean, I shouldn't say that. He's not supposed to be too close to me, but the violation's already occurred. So, and they have evidence of it. So they're supposed to arrest.
What is that?
Body camera?
Oh, okay.
I just got this new harness for it.
Oh, in case you have.
Isn't that cool?
Jedediah.
Well, no. I was wearing this before, but I was just clipping it on
I
here.
didn't know it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You've seen it. You've seen it before. But this is just easier, you know, because otherwise it can fall off.
Oh, I see.
Bye, Glennis.
I'm surprised they didn't tell us to get at the parking lot.
I know. Look, see? There they are. Now, they could be going after Jedediah, right? No. They're here trying to intimidate us.
I gotta get
Hey,
my
thanks
kids.
for coming.
course.
Yeah.
Have a
Good to see you.
all right, Bernard.
Okay, see ya.
Bye,
You
guys.
want to step in the alley for a real quick second?
Oh, yes.
Are you doing an interview?
No, that's fine. I just want to get the police. Bernard, you don't have to stay in there too long.
I just have to make sure you. Is this your car?
Yeah, I was going to say, just don't.
Oh, you got him with you?
Yeah, I'm going to drop him off, but don't leave until, let's leave together, just in case. Okay, Mr. Bernard. Not that they shouldn't be causing any trouble, but of course they're spending their time on us instead of, hey guys.
I was wondering why Jedediah ever calling that.
Oh no, I'm not the only one though. There was another person in that room that has an order of protection against him. I am not the only one. All right, everybody, we're headed out now.
I see Carl Mark and took signs with Jedediah.
Now we're still live now, remember? So don't say anything you don't want everybody to hear.
Oh.
They like me to stay live until I get home, at least, you know, so that they
okay.
know I get home safely. Yeah, you're fine, but don't go sharing your social security number or anything, Bernard. I'm just dropping a neighbor off, guys. But thanks for joining us, everybody. I feel bad. I didn't get my comments in at all. But basically what I wanted to say is just that how are we supposed to trust let's go this way. How are we supposed to trust police and politicians that they don't follow the rules themselves? So what's the purpose of anybody else doing it? Like, there's no respect, you know? It's just unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. Wait, is this Jedediah? Oh my god. No, I can't dwell on it, you guys, but there's Jedediah and his guy. You see? I need to make sure I just get that on film because they're literally harassing us back there And then, okay, I'm gonna let this guy go, because I don't know who this is. Okay. Go ahead, honey. Yeah, I don't like the idea of someone right behind me like that, you know? Oh, that's Jason. Okay. Okay. Just wanted to see again. There he is. Totally no consequences, just standing there talking. Okay. Oh my goodness, you guys. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do, huh?
Why did Talani Smith try to drown out Colby Chapman tonight?
Well, I mean, her, as everybody knows that's listening, I think, you know, her niece assaulted and battered me on July 14th. So, I mean, I don't know. But she doesn't really seem to have much respect for the rules or for respecting people. So it's pretty bad. Oh, there's a Harvey cop right there, watching.
Now, it just seemed like to me the little substations that they're supposed to build, it seemed like to me that done faded into oblivion. I haven't heard anything at no meeting about when they're going to be completed or anything. It's almost like it went up in smoke, and the money that's supposed to have been projected to build them, I haven't heard anything about the money either. So I wonder what's going on with that. And nobody has brought it up.
And not only that, but well, people have, but we haven't really gotten answers. And then in the meantime, the mayor has been sending Jedediah and his goons around town to harass people. That he doesn't, you know, agree with, whether it's Colby or me or Hassan, a businessman. I don't know if you saw that Jed and his group beat up Amir and his daughter.
Oh yeah, I saw a clip or something pertaining to that several weeks ago.
Yeah, that was July 14th. That was the same night that Talani's niece came after me. So it's crazy, but there were a few good questions answered. It wasn't a total loss, but you know, oh well.
Are you still live? Oh, okay.
That's why I said they watch me. They follow me home because we don't trust who. We don't trust who. They do all. My house got paintball too. You didn't know that?
Oh no, I didn't know that either. I have to come over there and talk to you when you're off camera.
Yeah, exactly. Or call me. Yeah, I just want to stay live until I get home to make sure I'm
well,
safe.
you have a good night, and I thank you for bringing me home.
Say goodbye to Bernard, everybody. Bye, Bernard.
Bye, everybody. Be safe.
See, we're so nice. Most people in Harvey are really nice, you guys. It's just a few. I think the bad actors, wouldn't you say, are few and far between, and they just do most of the trouble.
Okay, you know what? We should have an end of the summer picnic or something. Where we all can get together.
You mean like at my house, or?
I don't know if you want to have it at your house, in your backyard, or somewhere. Well, your backyard would be nice.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should do something like that before it turns cold.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll talk to you.
Okay. Good night.
Good night. Good night, everybody.
Bernard says bye. Yeah. Oh, French. That's nice. You said bye too.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. Au revoir.
Bye-bye.
I told him au revoir. You just keep commenting, you little Jed. What do you call him? Jed. The minions, because I'll screenshot it and use it for my case. Horrible people. It's like, leave me alone already. Hey, hello and goodbye. Okay. But yeah, see, most people are nice. You know, it's unfortunate that there's a small but vocal group that likes to cause trouble. One of the things that I was going to say during the meeting was just that even though... Oh, right, Cher, exactly. Yeah, Bernard's great. Actually, he was going to more meetings and everything, but he's been helping his sister to take care of a family member. you know how it is if you have someone that just needs a lot of time. So so that's why he hasn't been able to come to as many meetings as possible. But yeah, I was just gonna say, that mention about that they still haven't arrested Jed. They'll harass everybody else, but they won't enforce my order. And that just in general, like if Harvey police, they don't follow the rules. So, and our politicians typically don't. So like why, like why are we, it's almost like it's a moot point. And that's why I agree with the rabbi, he said, look, we have to do this because they're not going to. What have they done? How have they helped? They said that they knew about the group that had the mass shooting, basically, that Harvey police admitted in the press conference that they knew about them, you guys, for years. And you saw the chief didn't really have any response to that. So that's why I agree with the rabbi 100% on that. Because he said, like, well, they're not going to do anything. What do they do now? They don't do anything to help. But yeah, it was unfortunate that a lot of stroking of egos still, but I do I do appreciate that Colby and Tracy, they did their best to actually have their meeting, even though the mayor and Delaney and the police chief, and Mr. Brown were all stepping over their toes, and we're really very rude to them because that they never let Tracy or Colby or really anybody ask questions. Like, it's the one meeting, this is their committee, and and then they just ruin it. It's like, come on guys, like let them have one meeting where you don't have to control everything. So it's disappointing, especially when, like I said, when people's livelihoods, their safety are all at stake. So it can be a little crazy. Right, I know. I'm like, oh, there's Bella again. Go away, Bella. You are harassing me. Go away. You are a part of that whole group, Jed and his followers, and you are harassing me. You are part of the order when it says no third-party harassment and no harassment via social media. That's what you're doing right now, just in case you're not clear about that. But that's okay. I'll take more screenshots. I screenshotted your threats last time. So you go right up, just, say what you're going to say, but it's only going to help my case. Stop harassing me. Cults. Yes, you are in a cult, Bella. Exactly. You said it. You said it. Right? A friend says, yes, they have nothing intelligent to do. Right. So yeah, it was interesting. But yeah, no, they still did not arrest Jed. Crazy. So that was yeah, I'm not sure if that was Diana with Jed. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I definitely didn't want to hang around because I don't trust him. Lord knows what he or his group are going to do, especially after the night of July 14th. I mean, that was just the worst. They caused a whole bunch of violence and chaos that was unnecessary. And all while Harvey police stood by, basically, That's what's really sad about it all. Hi, baby. Good boy. Okay, what else did I miss, you guys? I'm sorry, because it was all happening so fast. I'm just looking at your comments. Yes, share. Thank you. Exactly. You said 450 vacant properties in less than 5 square miles. Yeah, and that's just some. Those are all city owned, and those are just some of the ones that we finally got the city to own up to. That's not all of them. It's like literally crazy. And then Sherry, you said so public service meeting, but you laid off cops. Yeah, that's gonna help. Exactly. So they didn't let me speak, unfortunately, which I was very irritated because I had a few questions. I wanted to ask, well, like you were saying, why all the layoffs? Why the why? Oh God, what was I gonna say? Why were union police staff laid off before non-union, and they didn't follow seniority rules, and it's like totally chaotic. Like, why haven't we gotten an official record of which employees were fired, which city employees were fired? So what positions are now not filled, because the times that Amir and I have gone to the records department at the city, it's very chaotic, and they seem totally overworked. So it's just total chaos. Again, how can you expect people to have any confidence in your police when no one knows anything? We don't know how any money's spent. We don't even know exactly who they laid off and what positions they were in. I mean, it's crazy. It's just not right. And ask a pertinent question, and they just turn the lights off. Exactly. The laziest police department of all. Yes, it's so crazy. Like, they literally will harass us, but they won't. They won't. Jed was on the other side of the building. They just left him alone. I'm like, what? Like, I have a pile of evidence about how he has violated, and there's nothing. Like, how am I supposed to feel safe? It's crazy. But then they say, well, yeah, we're here to help solve crime. Brian, ask Colby if Jed is being paid a consulting fee by Harvey. It's happening in another city. Ah, yeah. That would have been an excellent question as well. Yeah, and that's why I was trying to I was hoping that it would stay on track and everything, you know what I mean? So I know Tracy and Colby did their best, but it was just because if you let if the mayor or Selene or any of those guys talk too much, they're just gonna waste the time, and they're running down the clock. Like, they don't even have to rush us out. Like, it's our city hall anyway. Coffee God, go away. Go away. Coffee God, for the record, you are harassing me. You are part of Jed's cult. That's literally part of my order of protection. Go away. I'm not going to delete it, though, because I'll just use it as more proof in my case. Go away. Bella Marie, go away. Leave me alone. It was It was. The meeting was a tiny bit productive, right? Yeah. Anyone who calls themselves a god is delusional. Yeah, I agree with that. Coffee God, go away and stop harassing me. Bella Marie again? Go away. Real McCoy, you're confused. I have tons of videos on what's happened, so just go watch them. It's all there. Christine, you're another one. Good. I'll get all these screenshots later. Exactly. Yes. When the blind leads the blind, they both end up in the hole. Yep, exactly. Yeah. Thanks, Brian. Yeah, don't worry. I'm not really paying attention. I'm just gonna screenshot it for proof of the continuing harassment. But that's all. Oh, that's a good one, Bella Marie. Just keep talking. That's great. Mm-hmm. Oh, Wyoming, you're welcome. Thank you. I'm reading your thing status. Mandy, great question. As far as were there any action items for the community coming out of the meeting and resources that residents can utilize? Let me show you. Hold on. So I don't, I don't know a ton about them, but I know Activis was there. Let me flip the camera. So Activis was there, so they gave their information. They had some good tips. It says don't broadcast your business on social media. As far as like just different safety tips. Don't sit in parked cars for too long. Watch your associations. Pay attention. Don't get buried in your phone. Don't let pride be your downfall. If help is needed for violence stems from misunderstandings of all levels, don't let your ego get you put in a box. To be aware is to be alive. So that I thought that was pretty cool. Also, Leroyce talked about her. Leroyce talked about her resale shop in downtown Harvey as well. So, you know what I think I'll do, you guys, is I'll restart. If you give me a minute or two, I'll probably just restart and do a recap, on my laptop, because it's easier for me too. And then I'll also share this stuff again. And then here's another Activis, some more Activis information. So they have family rescue intake, city of Chicago. Well, that won't apply to Harvey, so just kind of ignore that part. But they have Illinois domestic violence hotline. Some more stuff from Activis. I thought Rose and Ceasefire, I thought they handed out some stuff too, but I don't know, maybe they didn't leave anything with me. So anyway, but yeah, if you want to come back with me, I can do a quick recap. Let me see. Yeah, I'm so sorry I couldn't address that during the meeting. The audio was bad. The only thing I can say is it must be the reception because everything was fine on my phone, or someone said it was blurry looking. Maybe it was the internet connection or something. Excuse me. Oh yeah, Colby had some guys. What I really liked too is that Colby put it back on. Just said, hey. Alderwoman Delaney Smith, you're head of this whatever committee because we talked about saying, and I've supported this for years, residency requirements. Let's require our police and our other city staff to live in the city. I think that's a great idea because that's where a lot of your tax money is going anyway, right? So keep that tax money flowing within your community. Hey Scott and Francesca here. I think Roseland Ceasefire did have some materials, but I don't know. I don't think I got them quite yet. Hey Butter, reality check. Reality check. If you didn't see it, you got to see. Well, I'm gonna do a replay. I'll do a recap because that rabbi was like on point tonight. Bella, hey Amir, Bella, you're not speaking facts. You're not making illogical points. Exactly. Thank you. Low bit rate on the video. I'm so sorry, guys. My goal is to get, eventually, I want to get a second phone, um, you know, so that I can still hopefully communicate while I'm filming, you know, so people can tell me things like that, and then I can communicate and say, hey, is this better? Is this better? You know, stuff like that. So yeah, I'm gonna do that, but let me just, I'll actually take you guys with me, for a minute. I'm just gonna do a little short walk with the pups. So I'll take you guys with me since you never know who's around, right? Okay, sit, 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 sit. Good boy. He's such a good boy. Yeah, and you'll see, you know, unless, like I said, it's really, I think it's a relatively small group of agitators that we have here, in town. For the most part, like, it's pretty quiet, you know? Like, before, you know, before I had that, the paintball attack, like, I've never had anything like that ever happen. Like, it's usually pretty chill. Come on, man. The roses are looking great.